President Paul Kagame from Rwanda, and President Macky Sall from Senegal. Please join me in a great, warm welcome to President Kagame and President Sall. As I said, at Vivatech, we have supported and are supporting heavily the initiative of innovation, digitization of Africa. You have been there last year and you have seen firsthand what we are doing. You will be visiting a little bit later on what we have done at Africa Tech, and I guess that you will be surprised to see how things have evolved positively. The reason why we are doing this is that there are many great things which are happening in Africa, and it is really a great honor to have you and to have both of you. But before we start, I would like to thank you, both of you, for showing this new face of Africa, a face that we don't know well. We know much more about the resources, the issues, the problem, but we have very little knowledge of the vibrancy of this digital economy. President Kagame, I want to tell you that personally I'm extremely sensitive to the fact that you have decided to join us, particularly in this moment of commemoration of the civil war with the genocide of the Tutsi people in your country. And I think that we are all together with you, and please accept my most sincere sympathy for what happened in your country. And I'd like to start with you because what you have done in your country is quite exceptional. Your country went through a terrible war, and since you took office, there has been a great achievement on education, on infrastructure, on growth, control of inflation, to the point that the World Economic Forum has ranked Rwanda as the 7th best run country. This is quite an achievement, and it's something which is absolutely extraordinary. So my most sincere congratulations for that. And what I would like to start with is that you tell us a little bit how you have been able to achieve such results. And if you could share with us what have been the difficulties, the hurdles, the challenges that you faced, and how you have been able to really tackle all of the issues and get where you are today.
Thank you, Maurice, first for inviting me here once again, and for the kind words you started with. And I'm glad to be on the panel also with my friend and brother, President Macky Sall of Senegal, whom we share a lot and do a lot together across for Africa and ourselves and together. Now, the question you raised has always been put to me, and I always find it difficult to give a comprehensive answer or a short one for that matter. But the history you've referred to is a starting point for us, and there have been complications even before that particular history that people know from 25 years ago. But so much challenging as it was, it's like they talk about a silver lining around a dark cloud, meaning from the tragedy, we have also been able to obtain strength to do the very hard things we have had to do. Because 25 years ago, we inherited a completely run down, destroyed country. We started from scratch, actually below scratch, everything. People displaced in their millions, many, again, over 1 million people of our country dead, so many perpetrators. So when we, 25 years ago, were looking for where to start from, it was very difficult. But nonetheless, we started by bringing people back together. It's reconciliation, it's security for people, it's justice, it's and then also thinking about how do we bring in social and economic development. It's not just pacifying the country and reconciling society and seeing justice done and you stop there, because at the end of the day, human beings have much higher aspirations for themselves than that. So that is now the area I wanted to concentrate on. And why the starting point for us was very difficult is because everything was a priority. It became a priority. In fact, it created a challenge because you were always asking yourselves, where do we start from? Or what do we start with? Because it is schools, it is health, it is the administration generally, it's agriculture, it's for our citizens to be able to put food on the table. Everything was a priority. And, but the world that was part of the problem in the first place also became the world that, to a great extent, helped to give us a start, because there were humanitarian activities, countries, developed countries, donors helped by providing resources to a great extent. Sometimes these resources came with other difficulties because somebody gives you what you need, but wants to also follow that and tell you where you put it, even if it is not your priority. So we had a bit of back and forth to do, but we were able to manage that and concentrated on what we had to do for ourselves. So we brought back normalcy, reconciled the population, but every year that passed, we emphasized to our people that it's not the world that is going to solve our problems, but the world will support us in solving our problems if we also do what we have to do for ourselves, and there is a lot we can do for ourselves. So that mindset we were able to create is really what sparked this progress that we see today. Now we started seeing things come together, and to a point where we started doing some of the things out of what traditionally has come to be known the way to do things. So we were so unconventional, if you will, in doing some of the things. We defied what the rules are known to be. For example, when it comes to justice, we were able to say, no, we don't have to wait for the normal traditional ways of justice, because if you take people to courts and then through the process, and how do you take 1 million people through a court process? How many courts do you need? How many years would that be to see justice done? So we tapped into our traditional ways of resolving problems. You heard of something called the gacaca courts. These are traditional people in rural areas sitting, choosing their leaders and hearing grievances and deciding how they should be resolved, and that's what we did. And in 12 years, we cleared over 1 million cases, and we spent 37 million US dollars on that process, while the international system, the International Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda, tried effectively 62 cases and spent over $2 billion. So that tells you the story. So this is how we are working out of...
It's the magic of modern and tradition together.
Yes. So you can see how we combine these two things, but the way we are doing things out of the conventional ways helped us. So that's how we have then, at the same time, even during this period, as we're moving from one level to another, education, health, justice, agriculture, infrastructure, and so on and so forth, we're also thinking about the most interesting part of this reason we are all here. It was about the use of technology and digitization of our economy for the future. So we were able to overlap the normal ways people have used to doing things, but we're also seeing ahead. And because some people used to ask us and say, you Rwandans must be crazy. How are you talking about digitizing and ICT and so on and so forth when the country is torn apart, education is not working, health has to be built, and so on. And we told them from the start that we don't see any conflict. In fact, since we're used to treating everything as a priority, we realized that technology, or information and communication technology, the whole process of digitization, was going to make more efficient, more productive every sector we had to deal with. So we said, no, across the board, every component in every sector, we are going to make sure that there is a part that is going to be technology-based and applied for our development. And that's
we will come back to technology in a few minutes. Président Macky Sall, on peut parler français avec vous?
Oui, absolument. Absolument.
Donc, le Sénégal, lui, a une histoire très différente et le Sénégal, heureusement pour lui, n'a pas connu le drame et la tragédie qu'a pu connaître le Rwanda, fort heureusement. Et depuis maintenant des décennies, les successions se feront notamment politiquement sur un plan démocratique et tranquille, d'une certaine façon. Vous avez été réélu de manière assez magistrale. Qu'est-ce qui fait que le Sénégal a ce côté un peu tranquillos, si j'ose dire, par rapport au tumulte que l'on connaît souvent au moment d'élections présidentielles en Afrique?
Merci beaucoup, Maurice. Permettez-moi en 2 mots en anglais,
oui.
Dans un anglais approximatif.
Oh, il n'est pas approximatif, votre anglais.
I want to first thank my brother and friend Paul Kagame, President of Rwanda, and express to him my deep solidarity during this 25th anniversary of the genocide, and also to salute his leadership in Africa, and particularly in the ITC, and for all the work he done in the name of African Union and in the name of also of Rwanda. Maintenant, Maurice, pour revenir à ton propos, le Sénégal, c'est peut-être une chance simplement, c'est aussi un parcours historique sur le long d'un fleuve tranquille. Ce n'est pas un mérite. Nous avons connu une société très ouverte au fil des siècles. D'abord, nous avons connu l'introduction de l'islam il y a 11 siècles maintenant dans notre pays. Cette introduction n'a pas été pacifique, parce que l'islam aussi est rentré par la violence, parfois par la guerre sainte. Mais très tôt, les populations autochtones, qui étaient des populations animistes, hein, qui vivaient leur spiritualité africaine, ont su adapter cet islam et l'ont adapté à leur mode de vie. Donc une sorte de syncrétisme qui s'est noué, et plus tard, lorsque le christianisme est également venu, bien après l'islam, en Afrique de l'Ouest, mais de façon pacifique, il y a eu cette cohabitation, donc des religions monothéistes, musulmanes, chrétiennes, et de la spiritualité africaine, ce qu'on appelle l'animisme. Donc déjà, c'était un pays qui a été confronté, de par sa position géographique, en Afrique de l'Ouest, mais aussi c'est le premier pays en Afrique subsaharienne, au sud de la Mauritanie, un pays de transition. C'est cette cohabitation depuis très longtemps, mais aussi une longue cohabitation avec les Français pendant la période coloniale, qui a aussi fait en sorte que le débat politique, par exemple, au Sénégal, a été un débat pluraliste, pluriel, et il y a eu des élections déjà multipartistes bien avant notre indépendance. Déjà en 1860, il y a eu des élections à Saint-Louis du Sénégal, et en 1914 déjà, le premier Sénégalais élu au Palais Bourbon fut Blaise Diagne, 1914, et il avait battu un citoyen français, mais qui vivait au Sénégal. Donc, nous avons été habitués à ces joutes électorales depuis, et puis jusqu'à l'indépendance, jusqu'à Lamine Gueye, Galandou Diouf et Senghor à partir de 1945, puis la loi cadre aussi, et puis les indépendances, qui n'ont pas été faciles. Mais enfin, depuis, c'est un processus continu de maturation et de renforcement de la démocratie. C'est pourquoi je ne suis qu'un héritier d'un long système qui a permis au Sénégal, en tout cas, de gérer ces contradictions par le dialogue, la discussion, parfois la polémique, mais jamais vraiment par les armes ou par des situations de cette nature. Même si parfois il peut y avoir un dérapage, comme dans tous les pays. Mais vraiment, globalement, nous avons aussi l'obligation de maintenir ce processus. C'est pourquoi, au lendemain de mon élection, dès le premier tour, j'ai quand même lancé un dialogue national pour continuer à affiner et à moderniser davantage notre démocratie, mais aussi à avoir en même temps un dialogue social, parce qu'il faut produire de la richesse, il faut bien la partager entre le secteur privé, les syndicats, l'État. Je pense que ce dialogue doit aussi accompagner notre vision d'émergence, et c'est aujourd'hui le débat sur lequel nous sommes en train de nous parler, opposition et majorité.
Alors, now I would like to put a question to both of you. Hein, donc c'est une question pour tous les deux, bien sûr. When you look at most of the African countries, and you mentioned it, and you also, there is something which is quite unique, which is this tradition and this modernity. The fact also that you are leapfrogging the traditional society to build the society of the future. So my question to both of you is the role of technology in each of your countries. This is what you started to explain. I think that it should be good, President Kagame, if you can get a little bit more in the detail. What do you expect technology to be doing? Et la même chose pour vous, si vous pouviez, Macky Sall, nous dire un peu plus ce que vous attendez de la technologie et comment est-ce que vous êtes en train de l'implémenter dans votre pays.
Well, to be precise and also with a bit of breadth, I would say that technology, first of all, is as old as our societies or these traditions. But those were old technologies. But in any case, some of the new technologies have been derived from these old technologies, in whichever sector of society we are talking about. But we are a modern society now, and therefore modern technologies have emerged, some of which we are having to deal with, anticipating that they will even be moving faster ahead of our ability to apply them safely and with a lot of meaning that we want from them. So it became very clear from the beginning that technology is going to be a bridge between the traditional part of our continued growth into the future, and then connecting the past with the future, and we have to be laying this bridge in the present. So that, and when you look at the growth of the economies across Africa, every country is really doing the best everyone can to make these investments into technologies and therefore the use of these technologies. And it even becomes clearer that we should not be isolating ourselves as countries. At the end of the day, when you pick one country alone, you find it is smaller than it is supposed to be if we integrated countries across regions or across the continent. Therefore, that has been very clear to us. In fact, we have recently, not so recently, but in the few years, we have created Smart African Alliance, meaning we have to digitize, we have to be looking at the digital economy's growth and what that means for overall growth and development of our countries. And that brings together countries that have a population of about 600 million people on our continent. So that this is huge. So that we integrate not only just the politics, the other aspects of economies, and the freedom of movement of our people from one part of Africa to another, but we need to integrate this use of technology as well. For example, in telecommunications and other areas, if we create one network, it becomes easier, it brings African people together, it makes it cheaper, and then we have to make sure that these technologies are accessible and so that our people can tap into that to add value to what we are doing. So it serves many purposes. Technology brings together societies, it brings a multiplier effect to everything one is doing in whichever sector, the efficiencies that come with it. Even in the management of government administration, we have found that we have been able to create e-government platforms on which services are given to our populations more easily, faster, and we have to keep lowering the cost of the usage of that. And in fact, it has saved money where it is, and increased, for example, in the revenue collection services of our country and countries. We found that with the use of technology, you collect more money, and there is cutting the losses that are incurred in the process instead. So it has all the benefits, much as it sometimes gets to be abused. The technology used wrongly will have a downside, but we have to look at the benefits as we try and mitigate the negatives that come with it.
Et de votre côté, au Sénégal, comment est-ce que les choses se passent?
Oui, nous sommes dans le processus d'adaptation des technologies de l'information, de la communication, de façon générale, de la nouvelle ère numérique. Et nous sommes conscients que sans un engagement fort des États pour justement ne pas rater ce train de l'histoire, le Sénégal, comme l'Afrique, le président Kagame l'a dit, a tout à gagner dans ce saut vers l'économie numérique. C'est-à-dire ce leapfrog dont on parle, il faut faire ce saut de technologie. Nous avons certes raté la révolution industrielle pour la révolution numérique. Je pense que l'Afrique dispose d'atouts, d'abord les ressources humaines, et aussi la volonté politique des différents États à travers des initiatives africaines, Smart Africa, mais aussi la formulation de stratégies nationales numériques comme pour celui du Sénégal, une stratégie nationale 2025, qui a pour ambition de faire en sorte que l'économie numérique et tout ce qui est digital puisse apporter au moins 10% du PIB national. C'est déjà important, mais c'est aussi un levier important de création d'emplois. C'est pourquoi nous soutenons les startups. Nous avons mis en place des dispositions pour les accompagner. Et je suis heureux d'ailleurs de constater que cette année à Vivatech, il y a un stand aussi sénégalais avec des jeunes qui ont développé des plateformes et des programmes. Et nous nous projetons vraiment dans l'ère de l'économie numérique, puisque non seulement le numérique nous apporte une meilleure productivité, mais peut nous permettre en effet d'être plus efficients. Alors, je voudrais rappeler, pour permettre à cet écosystème numérique de se développer, j'ai lancé la mise en place d'une cité du savoir, qui est un espace dédié dans la nouvelle ville de Diamniadio, où nous avons mis 25 hectares à la disposition des sociétés qui voudront s'y installer, et nous mettrons d'une part un supercalculateur qui devra être livré d'ici le mois de juillet, qui fait 536 teraflops. Déjà, c'est un gros, mais qui pourrait être upgradé à 1 péta, ça fait 1 million de milliards donc de flops par seconde. Et tout ce qui est programmation concernant la météorologie, par exemple, les climats, concernant l'aviation, concernant l'agriculture. Bref, la pêche, toutes les données dont nous avons besoin au quotidien, le cadastre, pourront être, en tout cas, pourront s'appuyer sur cet environnement. Et donc, vraiment, nous sommes conscients que l'Afrique ne doit pas rater cette occasion. Et c'est pourquoi il faut davantage former la jeunesse dans cette économie numérique, dans cette technologie du numérique, mais il faut aussi mettre quelques ressources. Nous avons des défis. L'Internet reste très cher en Afrique. Et je souhaite qu'avec nos partenaires, les opérateurs, que nous examinions les voies et moyens de réduire le coût de l'Internet sur le continent, puisque c'est là un véritable facteur bloquant. Donc l'enjeu, comme en Afrique de l'Est, ils ont réussi d'ailleurs avant nous, d'avoir un réseau interne, au lieu d'être en relation internationale, enfin en appel international, en roaming entre pays, c'est devenu un réseau local. Donc il faut que sur l'ensemble du continent, à terme, on arrive à avoir l'Afrique comme un réseau, un seul réseau local, et qu'on puisse également avoir un accès à Internet à des coûts tout à fait supportables pour la jeunesse, pour les étudiants, pour la société. Cela va vraiment aider à renforcer l'économie numérique sur le continent.
Vous avez évoqué le problème de la formation. One of the issues that all the tech companies and all the countries are facing is talent. And most of the time we think that the talents are where there are the very best universities of the world, etc. And it's quite complicated to think that in Africa you have that kind of talent. So what are you doing? Qu'est-ce que vous faites in order to raise talent and to have the kind of talent that is needed to build strong companies in Africa?
We have to make investments, absolutely. First, we have to make sure that we invest in a digital infrastructure that people will use. Second, institutions that will develop these talents. That is education and higher education that will focus on this. Third is now to identify those talents that are developing and make sure that we avail resources also they can tap into. When we have enabled them, our young people, through these investments to have an opportunity for being creative and innovative, then to translate all these into products, ideas that are going to work, they will need facilitation. And that's why there has to be development of, we have to find ways in which we tap into the private capital that is available so that these things are able to go into or serve the market. So this is what we have been doing, for example, in our own environment. In fact, we have partnered with high academic institutions that are known for that. For example, we have three areas that we have developed. We have Carnegie Mellon University in the United States, which is known for its computer sciences and engineering. They have a campus, we have worked with them, we have put a campus in Rwanda that provides the same quality of education as their own for master's degrees. And we have African Institute of Mathematical Sciences, based in Rwanda and serving not only Rwanda, but targeting the whole continent, as the Carnegie Mellon one was talking about. And a number of other institutions. We have African Leadership University that has also established itself in Rwanda. So this is to make sure that the talent that is out there that has been developed or identified does not just get lost, but rather is pulled in these institutions to continue developing their capabilities. But alongside that, we have also developed what we call the Kigali Innovation City, which brings this talent that has been identified together, but also attract companies that can work with these people who have shown talent and innovation so that they assist them in, for example, making them access capital to use. Encourage startups develop and also build their capacities to spread and grow. This is what has to be done.
Et de votre côté?
Oui, vous avez raison. Il faut, si nous voulons en fait que cet écosystème puisse se développer et donner des résultats, d'abord renforcer la formation. Ça, c'est le premier intrant. Les ressources humaines, donc à travers les universités, les écoles supérieures, mais aussi même à un niveau inférieur, enseigner le codage et tout ce qui est donc enseignement informatique et STEM de façon générale, donc sciences, technologies et mathématiques. Ce que nous essayons de renforcer et donc de changer le paradigme dans le système éducatif. Nous essayons maintenant de développer plus la culture scientifique, d'encourager pour susciter des vocations. Et nous avons aussi investi dans le réseau physique en fibre optique. Nous sommes à plus de 5000 km aujourd'hui. Et donc pour avoir l'infrastructure de base. Et nous avons aussi créé ce que j'ai appelé la délégation à l'entrepreneuriat rapide, la DER, qui a vocation à soutenir l'action des femmes et des jeunes. Et cette DER, justement, par rapport à ces talents qui sont dans la création, qui sont dans les plateformes nouvelles, accompagne et finance, disons, les fonds d'impulsion, les fonds d'amorçage. Et nous avons, à partir de cette année, mis 3 milliards de francs CFA, c'est à peu près 6 millions d'euros annuellement pour accompagner et financer donc ces petites ou très petites entreprises, ce qui pourrait permettre de lever par un effet levier, donc un financement plus conséquent. Donc nous sommes dans l'accompagnement aussi des talents qui vraiment excellent, qui participent dans des concours internationaux et qui ont parfois des prix, mais aussi ceux qui ont vraiment vocation à être soutenus. C'est comme ça que l'État peut suivre cette action au niveau digital.
Merci. It's time out, but I don't want to stop here. And as we have two head of state of Africa, I'm sure that the following panel will forgive us if we take some extra minutes. I have one final question. Yesterday, Jack Ma has explained that the weaknesses of China has been the reason why Alibaba has been so successful. There was no infrastructure, there was no internet, there was no computers, there was no traditional retail system, there was no transportation, all this kind of thing. And this has made Alibaba the largest e-commerce platform before Amazon, bigger than Amazon, as we know. If we look at Africa, we have about the same problem. Little infrastructure, lot of areas where there is no distribution, no banks, no outlets, no transportation, no structures. So where is the future Alibaba of Africa? Where is it? And is it possible that at the level of the continent, you do something, and not only at the level of one country? Because you have exactly the same problem as the Europe has. We are scattered with 27 countries, 28 currently, but 27 after the Brexit. And each country is relatively small compared to China or the US. Africa has the possibility, by joining forces, to do something great. So is it a dream, impossible, or is it a dream that you, both of you, can make possible?
It's something that is possible, and in fact, we can already see things happening, leading in that direction. Each country around the continent of Africa has certain things happening that give that indication. Jack Ma was right, because we also understand in our continent that the challenges we have and see, we always want to associate these challenges with or look at them as opportunities. There's no question about that. As you deal with this challenge, then you are tapping into whatever efforts and resources that exist to try and address that, and that's how things play out. Whether it is in the area of infrastructure, in the area of developing of skills, and so on and so forth. So there is no question about that path being similar to what is likely to happen in Africa, as we have seen. And as we mentioned earlier, it's how much Africa can come together, can integrate, including integration of our infrastructure and policy and standards and everything else that will help us realize that. As for talent, there is no question. Africa has as many people talented, or even more actually, than the rest of the world, because we have seen that most of the talented Africans are actually serving the other world, the rest of the world. And I think there is a realization that if we create the necessary environment, not only should we be continuing to develop the talent that potentially we have, but we see that even the talent that has already been developed will serve Africa eventually, that is out there. So there is no question. We've been working together, in fact, in many ways. President Macky Sall has also been leading the new partnership for Africa's development, NEPAD. Part of that is part of the Smart Africa Alliance and many other transformational processes on our continent, and work together with other leaders on the continent. So we want to keep coming together, and integration should deliver what we want to achieve.
Alors, de votre côté, d'autant plus que vous jouez un rôle de sage, hein, le Sénégal est un pays de sages.
En fait, Jacques Ma a raison et je voudrais saluer son intelligence et surtout ses performances à travers Alibaba. Alors, je crois que c'est une question qui est digne d'intérêt, puisque très souvent, on ne fait pas attention aux bonnes choses qui se passent en Afrique, aux progrès, parfois qui ne sont pas mesurables, puisqu'on n'a pas une exposition médiatique toujours positive. Mais aujourd'hui, sur le continent, vous pouvez être sûr que déjà, il se passe des progrès dans le domaine de la technologie, de l'information, de la communication, dans le domaine de l'e-banking, c'est-à-dire le transfert de monnaie à partir des portables, la gestion, même pour les paysans africains, agriculteurs, de leurs semences, alors qu'ils n'ont pas fait l'école occidentale, mais ils arrivent à comprendre comment composer et appeler le centre de semences et comment gérer parfois même la prévision météorologique. Ce sont des choses qui sont aujourd'hui usuelles dans tous les pays africains. À Dakar, par exemple, le péage sur l'autoroute se fait sur téléphone. C'est un peu comme les systèmes où vous mettez votre téléphone. Et ça, c'est quand même très moderne. Alors, est-ce que demain nous aurons un Jacques Ma en Afrique ou en tout cas une découverte essentielle? C'est tout à fait dans l'ordre du possible. D'autant plus que, comme l'a dit le président Kagame, nous travaillons dans plusieurs plateformes. Le Next Einstein Forum est un forum qui se passe en Afrique et qui essaie de promouvoir l'innovation scientifique, la culture des mathématiques et des sciences modernes pour justement créer une masse critique de chercheurs, de jeunes chercheurs et de jeunes chercheuses, pour faire genre, afin de pouvoir créer cette masse qui va amener des progrès. Et je peux vous dire que nous avons aussi EMS, qui est un centre africain qui travaille pour les mathématiques. Ce centre est aussi bien au Rwanda, au Sénégal, en Afrique du Sud, au Ghana et dans beaucoup de pays. On essaie de l'essaimer un peu partout sur le continent pour la culture scientifique, la culture des mathématiques. Et ce qui manque, c'est effectivement que les compagnies, les grands groupes puissent aussi intervenir dans du sponsoring sans pour autant, en fait, happer toutes ces ressources dans des incubateurs à eux, mais qu'on développe la culture de la science et de la technologie. Et je suis convaincu que dans les années à venir, les décennies à venir, on pourrait avoir de très belles surprises sur le continent africain. D'ailleurs, je dirais, l'Afrique n'exporte pas que de grands joueurs, non, ou que de grands musiciens. Il y a aussi de grands cerveaux scientifiques, de grands médecins qui sont aussi à travers le monde et de grands ingénieurs. Donc c'est pourquoi nous devons rester optimistes et dire que l'Afrique apportera sa contribution dans ce concert.
Nous aimerions beaucoup continuer. Malheureusement, vous savez ce qu'est la règle dans ce domaine. We would like very much to continue. Unfortunately, we have to leave the floor to somebody else. Je voudrais vous remercier tous les deux. A big thank you. We could have continued because it's so passionate. Merci.
Thank you.
And congratulations. And it is an invitation to the funds, to the startups, to look at Africa with different eyes. You have to go to Africa, you have to visit Africa, and you will see that there is a lot of things to be done there, and something which is really for good. Thank you.